This poem is written after Angel Nafis. Deaf Boy wants you to know he has a hearing family. Deaf Boy wants you to know what it feels like to have hearing parents that don't know ASL. Deaf Boy wants you to know he wants to teach his parents to sign just a little. Deaf Boy wants you to know you can learn ASL. Deaf Boy wants you to know he wants to teach you how to spell your name. Deaf Boy wants you to know don't copy and paste my language when you don't know what it means. Deaf Boy wants you to know how to clap for him in his language. Deaf Boy wants you to know he has to live in two different cultures and two different worlds. Deaf Boy wants you to know he feels fractured. Deaf Boy wants you to know he doesn't hear cars coming. Deaf Boy wants you to know you have to tap him to get him to pay attention. Deaf Boy wants you to know that he needs one person talking at a time. Raise your hand so he knows who to look at. That way, he knows what you're talking about and he can keep up. Deaf Boy wants you to know sometimes he can read lips clearly and sometimes he can't. Deaf Boy wants you to know he wants to be picked for the team. Deaf Boy wants you to know we can both pick up the ball and play. Deaf Boy wants you to know he has to read the Bible while the preacher's preaching. Deaf Boy wants you to know he wants to help hearing people understand how to be around deaf people. Deaf Boy wants you to know he is not hearing people's pets. Don't snap at him. Deaf Boy wants you to know that the deaf school is not less than the hearing school. Deaf Boy wants you to know he says, I am not less than you. Deaf Boy thinks you're afraid of him. Deaf Boy says, don't be scared of me. Don't be afraid to try and communicate. I want to be friends, but I'm not your armrest. Don't yell, don't give me noogies, don't talk extra slow, don't talk gibberish, just talk normal. Deaf Boy wants you to know, he says, I want hearing people to not look down on me. I'm not dumb, I just don't speak your language. Deaf Boy wants you to know, he wants you to stop pointing and saying, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Deaf Boy wants you to know that deafness is not a disease. You cannot catch it. Deaf Black Boy wants you to know that sometimes people only see the black and they don't see the deaf. Deaf Boy wants hearing police to know not to arrest him just because he can't hear you. Deaf Boy says, don't tell me to put my hands down. I don't want to put my hands down. I want a sign. Deaf Boy says, if you want me to speak as clear as you do, then you need a sign as clear as I do. Deaf Boy says, I'm not hearing impaired, I'm deaf. Deaf have an identity, deaf have a language, deaf have a culture. We are not impaired. Hearing people only have one language. I have two languages. Deaf Boy wants you to know that hearing impaired is offensive. Deaf Boy doesn't want you to call him the hearing impaired boy, doesn't want you to call him animal, doesn't want you to call him retarded, doesn't want you to call him immature, doesn't want you to call him low functioning, doesn't want you to call him stupid, doesn't want you to call him dumb. Call me by my name.
My name is Jordan.